So this movie teaches us, even in the fairy tale world, knowing your fiancé parents can be a problem. So thank you. I don't know if it's something that happened to you.
Oh, absolutely. No.
Yeah?
No. Yes, it's all a true story. No, yeah, I think it's interesting that, when you make a film like this and, it is a fairy tale and, it's a spectacle and it's a fantastical...
But with normal problems.
Yes, exactly. But it is, you're right. It's about making it relatable somehow, making, you need to feel for these characters, and even though it is Maleficent and Aurora, it needs to somehow feel familiar, to make it important.
So in your movies, there are always strong female characters, and I don't know, what do you like about women's strength?
Well, regardless of gender, I like strong characters, and of course in this one, I have not only strong characters, I have amazing, actresses playing them, in the sense of, Michelle Pfeiffer, Angelina Jolie, Elle Fanning, and I think those days on set when I have these three, in my book, some of the best actors in the world, battling it out in front of the camera, it's just amazing. It's like such a privilege as a filmmaker to have that, and I think those days were, the closest to magic, as we could ever come on the film set.
There are so many beautiful messages behind Maleficent. One of my favorite is bridges are made to join two sides. What do you think? How much do we need these kind of movies with these messages, especially for the new generation?
Yeah, I think if you can, I think it's important, not only because sort of cinema is normally a vehicle for change, and cinema can be a sort of storytelling can be a sort of way to teach people and way to sort of progress on views and challenge perspectives. I think that's always important within cinema in general. That's one of the main reasons I like to be a part of it. And but if you can do that within a big sort of film like Maleficent, and then great, because I think all ages will watch it and take something important from it.
Manners and respect was always something I was taught very young, so I've been quite good with meeting, in-laws and stuff like that. And
no anxiety, nothing.
No, maybe that's why
pressure.
We're in this job. We don't feel so much anxiety in those situations. But no, I think respect and manners will get you a long way in every situation.
I don't believe you, but it's fine.
Yeah, I think that we definitely need to have these messages in films, and it's great that a film like this is geared towards young people, and obviously it's a very fun film and it's very light and it's enjoyable, but yes, it does talk about building bridges and communities and trying to have communities that come together. It talks about a respect for the environment. It talks about things that I think are very important and very dear to a lot of us as adults, and I think increasingly as well to young people, and and I think that's a very rich way. I think about when I grew up and the stories that I saw and how they did impact me, and some of those messages were great, and then some of them, were not as great when you look back. And I think it's really important to tell stories that can be empowering and can give young people a real vision and optimism for the future as well as everything else.
The dinner scene, it's an incredible scene. It's a very, very long scene. It took us about almost 2 weeks to film that whole scene of all the camera angles and everyone that was involved. But yeah, you start to get a bit delirious on the second week. We're still at this table with the same food and the same, the same lines. But for me, it was incredible I loved watching Angelina and Michelle, face off, and just the passive aggressiveness that they had and the playfulness that they were as well with their characters. It was really exciting to watch.
I think what I liked about it was the classic film Guess Who's Coming to Dinner with Sidney Poitier. But instead of it being, the different races, it's different species, and it's a lot, it's a cool scene now. I think it's very important. I think young children, very young children, are tolerant. It's what happens in life. It's a strong message for the adults as much as it is the young people, I think. But we are living in very divisive times where, our ideals or our beliefs are being, used to turn on one another or to blame people for one's own suffering and things. And I think that's very dangerous, this sort of populist ideas, or the idea that someone else is evil and etc. So I of course think tolerance, accepting our differences is important.